everybody? Welcome to episode 1126 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, live from Austin, Texas. To my right, joining me today, a man, James Dean Rader. He's in the hunt for a helicopter right now. He's had a potentially. He's looking to go halvesies with our producer Nicky.
Well, it depends on if they accept my lowball offer.
Yeah, you got to start low.
Always.
To the left, Andrew Spey. Not a new top, but looks new to me.
Yeah, thank you. Not quite new.
Maybe new to the viewing audience.
Potentially.
And to the left, Jonathan Kozak, the father.
Good morning.
The father's father is in town.
Mm-hmm. He hand fought with you yesterday.
Mr. Muffler. Dude, that's a powerful man. He was going to make me look like a boy. I'll tell you one thing. This guy, I'm not saying this, he needs to compete.
Yeah.
I see it in his eyes and his soul. He wants to wrestle in Masters really badly, and I think our mission should be to push him over there because the father's father he's a beast.
He's itching for it.
Do you think we can make it happen?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yep. You get him talking to David Bray like once a month, just encouraging Jerry to compete, and he'll do it.
Okay, because he said he needs to train more. I said
this actually might do it right here.
I suggested. I said, hey, you need to come down here and do a full camp with the FloWrestling team. Mm-hmm. Train with the Outlaws, the Nolf Pack, all of them.
Yeah.
And then I get them ready.
As we know from our Instagram, you're never too old to compete.
Oh, and he would be in that category with those gentlemen, and I just feel very confident he's going to do a nice job. So
didn't we find out that there is an upper age limit, like right after
75?
that post? So it's like
75.
And how old is your father?
67.
He's got some time.
Plenty of time.
Absolute dog.
What are we talking? 8-time Masters World Champ?
Potentially.
Could do it.
Potentially. Get this guy overseas.
You're never too old to compete unless it's 76 or older.
Yeah. At which point
you are.
You should probably do something else. Okay. A lot to get to today. We've got, we'll talk a little Bo Nickal, MMA, which is not a common topic for the show, but obviously the topic of the weekend. World Team Trials coming up in 2 weeks. Got some exciting entries there. As always, transfer portal updates coming at you. JD, where shall we begin, sir?
Let's start Bo Nickal. That was kind of the talk of the weekend. Bo Nickal drops his first MMA fight of his career. What were your thoughts, and where does Bo Nickal go next now?
Well, it was disappointing was my initial thought. Like, man, you're bummed. Like Bo, was rooting for Bo. I think Bo's a nice guy, and all my experiences with him was...
Friend of the program.
Friend of the program, Bo Nickal, absolutely. And so it was a bummer. And you wondered, he's 7-0, and very few people go through the MMA game unscathed, and it didn't go well for Bo. It seemed like he was kind of, I don't know if out prepared or outclassed or what, just a bad matchup. I don't know. Bad tactics. I don't know. I'm not an expert, just observing, but the guy looked really big, really strong. And it felt like to me that the turning point in the fight seemed to be like, because he got the first takedown. I feel like they were dead even those first couple minutes on their feet. Nothing even that would separate them. And then he gets the takedown, which is good. And then when he went for the guillotine, it felt like everything from that point on was for RDR and not for Bo. And it just didn't go well. And then Bo didn't take him to the mat. Like he got like basically the quad pod. Mm-hmm. Didn't seem like he even wanted the takedown. And so he's sort of single threaded through, standing, and that wasn't a position of advantage for him against De Ridder. So definitely a bummer. And I'm wondering, and he's a really smart guy, so I'm sure he's already done this reflection. But does he look at, hey, do I need to get in, have longer camps elsewhere? Do I need to be in that environment? Do I need to fight more? He's fought twice a year the last 2 years, right? Does he need to have more experience, like actually in the cage fighting more often? Does he need different partners or different coaches? Or, I don't know. But I'm wondering if a loss like this makes him think, all right, maybe the exact path I'm on and my training frequency, regimen, whatever, needs to be tweaked. And I'm certain that's probably the conclusion. Now, how drastic is that? I don't know. But you would feel after a loss like that, he's going to look at all options. But who, as I mentioned, like, there's not many undefeated people in this sport ever, and he was going to probably lose at some point, and now, you know.
It was kind of the way he lost that was surprising, you know, getting controlled really on the feet, in the clinch. Bo did get that one takedown, but it wasn't he got submitted. He took the guy down and got submitted. Oh, he got knocked out in one punch. He got caught on the button and went out.
Yeah.
He was controlled.
He took a lot of damage in that second.
Yes, he did.
Second period.
Yeah. I can only compare what I saw the MMA to wrestling because I'm not an MMA expert either, but it was weird seeing Bo. You're so used to him just being able to go for the kill. And like any time in a wrestling match, he's able to turn it back on or just hit his foot on the gas and like take over a match. And seeing him be kind of like unable to do that was kind of rough. I mean, he got all that hype for a reason. And he's a supreme athlete. It's just, you know, when it doesn't go his way, it was a little jarring. It's not used to seeing that from Bo.
No, not at all. You wonder, like, I don't know, where does I get nervous, and one thing I don't like about MMA is just the way how slow they move guys through, and when your next opportunity comes, and like there's no guarantees he's going to get another great fight. But what gives you encouragement or, you know, promise is like the UFC clearly likes Bo and believes not only is he someone that people are excited to watch, but that he has promise. So I don't think one loss and it's like, all right, he's a guy who has high profile within the UFC, right? And so that's exciting to know he's gonna get more opportunities. This is not like, oh man, this was your chance, and or it was like when Ben lost to George, it sets you back. And at that stage in Ben's career, is he gonna be able to get back, right? And the way he was maybe viewed internally by UFC, right? Like the Dana stuff, I don't know. But Bo doesn't have that. Bo's got a lot of momentum behind him, a lot of people behind him, and so it feels like he'll get back.
And I actually don't think the hype is derailed after one fight, because now I feel like a lot of people are going to want to tune into the next fight to see how does he respond, how does he get better. Like if he loses his next one, then it's like, okay, you weren't worth the hype,
right?
Whatever. But I mean, sure, it takes it down a notch because now we don't have your Conor McGregor guy coming through completely undefeated, just starching everybody, kind of like Bo was. Like nobody's calling out for Bo versus Hamzat anymore.
No.
Right, but I do think there is still a high percentage of the hype around him. Obviously, the wrestling community is still going to be locked in on whatever his next fight in, but then also the normal MMA fan that just was like, this guy was a great prospect. He still can be a great prospect, and I think most people realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
To your point, I put a poll up in the YouTube chat whether or not Bo will fight for a UFC title in his career. And I think if you'd ask this before the fight, the percentage would be obviously much higher. Yeah, flipped. So right now it's at 40% say yes, 60% say no. But that's just like the difference in the MMA world compared to wrestling, where it's like you get one fight every couple months, maybe
6 in most cases.
Right. And that's like, man, people's perception of you can swing so much one way or the other, depending on how you do. And so like, there's more pressure on him now moving forward to like really perform his next time. Because if he goes out in whatever 4 to 6 months and has another performance like this, then it's like, I don't know. Then you ask this question, and the percentage of him fighting for a title would probably be like 10 to 20% say yes.
Yeah.
You know,
to me, I think, Bo always seemed to know how he was going to win a wrestling match, right? He's had this great counter offense. He could go get it. He was this tenacious pinner. I don't know if you ask me, how is Bo going to win a match? Like I always talk about like the path to victory or whatever. The match will probably look like this. The fight will look like this. Ben Askren's going to take you down and hit you in the head or whatever. And I don't feel like I know what that is for Bo. Like he is like one of the best wrestlers in the world, But does he want to use that? Does he want to be a wrestler that takes you down and punches you in the head till the period ends? Does he want to be a dynamic striker? Does he want to be a jiu-jitsu guy? He tried this guillotine. Like, I don't know it's not clear to me what his sort of style is. It doesn't, it maybe, this is too strong, but like sort of lacks identity a little bit. It still feels like to me, I mean, he got the takedown. Stay on top for a long time. Who cares how it looks? And maybe, does he care how, I mean, everyone loves to like starch people, right? But to win the fights, maybe he just needs to stay on top and hit them, right?
It seems like he kind of does care. He was talking about, I don't know about leading up to this fight specifically, but before all of his other fights, he was talking about how he didn't want to use his wrestling, how he wanted to be kind of a knockout, exciting guy.
Of course. I mean, who doesn't want to be that? But
that's what he was in wrestling.
That's what exactly. He had the ultimate knockout of knockouts.
Right, and I think he wanted to basically be what he was in wrestling in the UFC, and maybe now he has to rethink that.
Yeah. I am still very interested to see what he does next, and I think that, like the hype train, whatever that is, it's still like, okay, he's still a story. He's still news. Like, I want to know where he's training at. Like, I'm more invested in what Bo does next in MMA than I would have been if he got the win, I think. Like, it's an interesting story to see how you respond from that, what kind of training and all that stuff he does. So, yeah, still be paying attention.
Yeah, UFC isn't boxing where you take one loss and you're done. And this guy's a legit guy. Like, he was calling out Sean Strickland in the post-fight press conference.
That'd be a good fight.
So, he's a guy who could be fighting for a title next year.
And you wonder about, it certainly is. And you wonder about the weight. Like, he looked small there. Is he small? I don't know. That guy made him look small.
That guy's a big middleweight.
Yeah.
He'd fought heavyweight previously.
UFC weights can be confusing with the day before weigh-in, and we're not used to that in wrestling anymore. So it's like, yeah, I was surprised that guy looked so big.
Well, Bo talked about trying to add weight, and then I think he even said he had to cut 30 pounds in a week or something that Bo did. So Bo was trying to get bigger for the fight. And I don't know if he, lost it the wrong way or put it on the wrong way. And he did seem tired. Yeah,
he did. I think the first period round, like him fighting up, getting off after trying that guillotine, he did seem sort of tired at the end of the first. Mm-hmm. Just never really got back in a rhythm. It was really after that point, because it started dead even. They're like in the clinch, nothing's really happening. He gets a takedown, it's good. And then in the second round, it was all dictated by RDR, seemingly, other than the near takedown. So, bummer.
What'd you think of kind of fan sentiment and reaction to it?
Well, I think we had a question about this, actually.
Right now.
From Vac Attack. You want to read it, John? You got it there?
Yes. He says, do we need to talk about the unmitigated gall of the wrestling Twittersphere demanding that Iowa fans have to root for Bo Nickal? LOL.
LOL. So, yeah, this is interesting because that's what Twitter sort of became after. Well, a little bit in the lead up and then afterwards. And there were a couple accounts just absolutely selling out white knighting for Bo Nickal. And basically demanding that people cheer for him, which is like just not how sports works, not how people work. It's not how MMA works, certainly. And I think Bo has gone out of his way to dunk on and needle and antagonize the Iowa fan base. No judgment, no shame, nothing wrong with that. It's probably from an MMA tactical brand building standpoint, smart to do. He's gone, just a couple weeks ago, he makes this post showing Tom Brand's crying as he's crying. Okay. So, and the demands that they should cheer for him because he's a wrestler. It's like, well, an Iowa wrestling fan is an Iowa wrestling fan first and foremost. Like, that is their primary. If they're watching MMA, maybe they like MMA, they don't like MMA, or they're interested in the person. But the idea that an Iowa wrestling fan is going to put that aside because he's a wrestler is just like patently insane. And the inverse would be absolutely true if it were Penn State guy and, you know, Iowa or whatever. It's the exact same. And so it's not like he's been like Zane or Jason Nolf or Ed Ruth, just a killer who's been, you know, head down and never said anything about anyone really ever.
Spoke the bear.
He's poked, prodded, and I mean not to mention he also went at it viciously and publicly with Jordan Burroughs, who is like, so he's gone after American wrestling royalty and the biggest, loudest fan base in the sport. They're not all going to be cheering for him. That's super, I mean, very obvious and also understandable as well. And the idea that Boza, because Boza, well, you should cheer for him because he's an American. What? Fighting against what? Our sworn enemy, the Netherlands? Like, no,
you never know. You can't keep track of who the bad guys are these days.
Yeah, who cares? That's just not going to get. People will root for an American, all things being equal in America. I would estimate. But listen, Bo's gone out of his way to poke and prod, so they're not going to be fans of him. It's fine. He said that Kozak pulled in a funny tweet. Here you go.
Kozak remembers.
He goes, guys, I will admit this Michael Parsons wrestling is legit. He did much better than most guys I wrestled in college. Definitely was tougher to pin than any Iowa wrestler.
Yeah.
Crying emoji.
He has lots. There's nothing wrong with that tweet. There's nothing wrong with it. But you're not going to get those people to cheer for you after those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Right?
It's almost like it was all part of the plan. It's part of building his brand and getting more eyeballs to watch his fights. Part of that is leaning into that type of persona. And so, yeah, this is the other consequences of it. And I don't think anybody should lose any sleep over it either way.
It's partially why there was so much hype around him, too. I mean, we've seen other, okay, maybe not 3-time NCAA champions, but guys of his caliber at wrestling enter the UFC and not have as much hype around them.
Yes, absolutely true. Here he gives a prediction for Penn State to win 60-0 over Iowa.
That was 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Iowa fans are going to remember that.
Like, also, the plan is for him to create animosity with this group of people. That is like the business strategy.
Right. You can't like pull that backwards all of a sudden and like put it in reverse and be like, anyway, we're still all on the same team. It's like you kind of made them not on your team on purpose.
It's like, what's the tweet they always say, like, I hope she sees this, bro. Yeah. Like, that's how I feel about all these accounts that are like, no, stand with him. It's like, well, I mean, yeah, you cheer for him. That's fine. But you can't convert everyone and expect them to cheer for the same guy because he did the sport you like.
I had friends in Arena that said, like, there was not cheers when he lost. Like, they were like, it was completely silent.
Yeah.
When he lost. So also a reminder that, like, Twitter is definitely
not real.
Yeah. Also, no one's behavior has ever been
Excuse me, X, the everything app.
Yeah. Can you imagine, like, how many times someone has been, like, reading tweets of somebody telling them they should be doing this or doing that, and then, like, you know, that's right. That now that I see this in a tweet that is, like, vaguely directed at me, I'm making a 180.
It's time to change. But yeah, no, it's it's a unique thing because wrestling is just not in this sort of situation much as a sport. So it's kind of.
And then you get like also just the MMA people coming out of the woodwork to say stuff, and then you get wrestling people arguing with them about this. And
I don't. And this is one thing I will say, like,
oh, this is your golden boy.
I don't think Bo likes that. I think that is I think he probably knew going into MMA, and we talked about it a little on the show, like, it's a different fan. Like, these are the.
Welcome to the real world.
Yeah.
Whenever I get bummed about, like, the wrestling community or whatever, or think, like, man, I wish it wasn't that way or whatever, and then you see the MMA fans, and you're like, actually, we have it pretty good.
All right, it's not that bad. Yeah, exactly. And I think Bo generally in his heart, like, he wants to be liked. You know, he does. I don't think he. So I think he's in a weird personality blend where he wants to be. You know, I don't think he wants to be the heel. I think there's some aspects of his personality that sort of lean heel. So I think he's in a little bit of he's kind of in between there. And of course, this is the period of time where all those people are going to get their words in and say what they want to say. But ultimately, they'd all love to be Bo Nickal. And ultimately, Bo's future is super, super bright.
Yeah.
Okay. That was Bo Nickal talk. Let's move on. World Team Trials entries are starting to heat up. Got a little spicy over the weekend. Who entered for us?
A lot of people entered. I've got this. Why don't you drive this aspect, Jonathan? Give us some of the highlights.
Yeah, 65 and 70, I think, is where a lot of the juice is. You got Marcus Blaze right off the top there, coming up from 61.
We speculated if this would happen. Mm-hmm. If he shouldn't, whatever. And
He really wants to make a senior team.
yeah, he does. And how can you not after you make the finals last year? You know you're right there. Probably looking back, losing to Gross. Probably just wanted to get on the mat again as soon as possible after the U.S. Open and get some more wins. And I'm excited to see how he looks up at 65.
That's kind of what I was going to say. This to me shows. So last show also too, when we were talking about my predictions and save predictions, I'd speculated Ono 33, Blaze 41. Mm-hmm. Going, I don't know. They both wrestle 61 kilos. This kind of shows me Marcus could be better suited for 141.
If Ono has a red shirt, why would you not use it?
You want to put your best team out on the mat? Mm-hmm. Smoke him if you got him.
But there's an element of unknown.
True. And obviously another year of training just folk style.
How good could he be?
And another year of
more.
keeping Ono in your room.
Yes.
Like, you get him next year to redshirt, and then you get him in 2 years on the team. So then that guarantees he's in state college for 2 years. Rather than if you use him next year, well, then what does his training situation look like? How long is he staying in the United States to train in state college?
Yeah. So I think you could, if they redshirt him, which, there's no wrong choice, but there's a lot of reasons. There's pros on both sides, certainly. And it would seem like a guy that's never wrestled folk style, giving him more than it's April now, assuming he's there, they're not going to, I'm sure they'll figure it out, but it's not that many months until the first matches, right? It's not that long to learn a similar, but very different sport.
I'm sure that's what they're doing right now. Working top and bottom, engaging. How far along are you?
What folk style technique or aspect are you most excited to watch Ono do?
Turns from top, I think.
I don't know why. I want to see him get off the bottom.
Mm-hmm. It's just like
see him get set.
I just feel like getting set, but like I don't know, it's just stand up's not that fun. But like the first time he hits like a tilt or like a bar or something like that, it's gonna be like, oh.
I just want to see a tight waist and an ankle. That's it. Just tight waist, ankle, back.
I'd say he loves the tight waist ankle. He just becomes like an incredible rider, not turner.
Yeah. Be funny.
Ono in a headgear.
That'd be cool.
Be cool.
I've seen him in a headband.
Well, we've seen, if you've watched
All
Access Ono, you've seen him in a headgear. It was hilarious because
Yeah, he didn't like it, right?
no, but he wanted it because I forget, it's probably Rudis or whatever apparel company it was that was like reaching out to him. They're like, we will give you anything. And he's like, no, I just want a headgear. Because he sees these American wrestlers wearing headgear, and it's not
American
something.
wrestling culture is headgear.
Yes, and he puts it on, and then they start going hard, and he was like clearly like, "This sucks," and just takes it off.
All right, I tried it. I got to experience the American wrestling style. I kind of hope, only because it would make him more relatable, not because I want to see him fail, but put legs in and then like immediately fall off or be too high or whatever.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Yeah, I just remember
Cross-body ride.
Yeah, like flashbacks to trying to put legs in and just it failing completely.
Because we're on the Ono topic, Earn Your Gold in the chat asked if they're going to redshirt him, why would Ono not go to Worlds this year?
I don't know. Man, that would be... Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand unless they just want him there training and just focus on
much more time
getting up
focusing on folk style. And I am guessing right now it's a feeling out process. Like, hey, let's train folk style with the intent that we're competing this year. And if we get to November and you don't feel like you're ready or it's the best idea or option, you don't have to.
Hopefully he still goes to Worlds. It's not cemented that he won't. But if you ask me right now, my guess would be that he does not.
And that is not a completely uncommon thing for Japanese wrestlers to go a year off, especially after the Olympics.
Absolutely. But yeah, we got one name down the list, really. That was 100% my fault and my intent. But I mean, Marcus Blaze is fascinating, and I'm curious to see how he looks up at 65.
Yeah. So the rest at 65, Seth Gross also coming up, Real Woods, Brock Hardy,
Brother Brickle.
new name, Bo Bassett coming up from U20s, Aiden Valencia, Carter Young, and Jesse Mendez.
Dang. That's what's fun about, the Open was fun for its reasons, but these are just like they're smaller, but crazy depth
And now,
intensity.
at this weight, you've got combination of 61 guys too, kind of like an Olympic trials bracket.
That's right. With Gross and Blaze all
His
in.
final X is set at 61.
Yeah.
I'm guessing we see Bo Bartlett.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure about Nick Lee yet. I don't think that there's any other huge names that could enter 65.
No, I can't think of any. But yeah, that's a good crop. Who do you guys feel the favorite is to emerge?
Well, I would say Aiden Valencia.
Really?
Over
Jesse Mendez.
Sorry, Jesse Mendez.
Okay.
But they're right there. They were both, I would say, like equal performances with Joey McKenna at the Open.
I think you have a lot of really good senior level data with Jesse. Aiden has a lot for a young guy, but it feels like him. I am interested in Bo. I think Bo and Blaze are going to get wins here in this field. What do you guys think would happen if Bo Bassett and Marcus Blaze wrestled each other 65 kilograms in freestyle? Who is the favorite?
Well, the real winner, of course, is the fans.
Thank you.
But I would have to lean Bo just because it's more his weight, but that's a super intriguing match.
Bo's not super big for 65. He's kind of grown into a normal size 65. He was a small 65 a year ago, but Marcus is such a good winner.
What a juxtaposition of styles, too.
Yes.
Yeah, like pinpoint, pick his shots, good defense with Marcus versus the machine gun mindset of always attacking and re-attacks from Bo.
Is it, all things being equal, is it clear that Marcus is better than Bo Bassett at freestyle to you guys? It's not clear to me.
They're too young to really say like, okay, this is.
Well, just even not even they're not projecting. Just right now.
Yeah.
Is it clear?
It feels like Marcus is better right now
Yeah.
based on senior level wins.
Well,
right?
certainly yes.
Like, think about Bo Bassett just lost to Luke Stanich at the U.S. Open. It feels like Marcus isn't going to lose to. I know Luke Stanich is really good, but I mean, Marcus is out here beating guys who are making Final X. Mm-hmm. Right? And it feels like Bo's not quite there yet. Now, you could chalk that up to the maturity level at 65 versus 61, right? 65 being a little bit more of a grown man weight. You could chalk it up to that a little bit, but it just feels like Marcus right now is a little bit better at getting his hand raised at the senior level.
Yeah, you say that, but then you have the transitive of Bo Bassett beating Aiden Valencia how many times last year? And Aiden went and did the same thing that Marcus Blaze did at the U.S. Open and took third and beat Real Woods twice. And so, yeah, I think, JD, your point is Marcus has the senior level wins, but it's like you kind of think the same about Aiden Valencia as you do about Marcus.
Yeah. Maybe to a slightly lesser degree. I guess my point in that is it's not totally clear to me who the better guy is. And we know factually Bo is going to be bigger at this weight class. So that makes me inclined to lean Bo if they were to hit.
Yeah, I think the weight class, the weight's definitely a thing. Marcus has got most of his best success at lower weights. I mean, that's just the facts. And then, there's not a ton of there are results that we know that they're both great, but do we know exactly what level they're at based on the limited amount of senior level matches they have?
Think about what 65 kilograms in that Olympic trials bracket is going to be. It's going to be these guys, but it's going to be Bo. It's going to be Blaze. Is going to be a
Jax.
65 by then, and Jax. It's going to be insane, insane in 2028. And that's going to be one of the biggest storylines in the country to follow the next couple of years. Like,
kind of the storyline right now. David Bray made Jax Forrest the new pound-for-pound number one high schooler in the country. Was that the right decision?
I mean, winning the senior level U.S. I mean, I think it is because Jax beat Seth. Seth beat Marcus. That match, if Marcus wins, I think that's for the pound-for-pound number one spot. Marcus had the edge based on what he did at a lot of things he did, but you can, if you're highlighting one thing, what he did at the senior world team trials last year was insane, right? And so that got him, I think that made him a clear number one. Now, what's interesting about Jax and Marcus is the potential showdown at U20 trials, which is an option for both. And I think we could see both wrestling at the U20 trials, which would be incredible. And you could sort it out there. Now, will Jax go knowing he is in Final X? I don't know. I think that's a decision they're weighing right now. But, I mean, how about this? Jax could go and very reasonably not have a down performance and not make the U20 world team. And then he could very reasonably make the senior world team. That could be, that's super realistic. Both are in play, that he would lose to Marcus Blaze in the 2 out of 3 and then, or wherever they would hit.
And then beat Vito.
Yeah.
I think all that's on the table.
Occasionally someone you'll see doesn't make the U17 team and then they go make the U20 team because
Spencer did that.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of. But yeah, I don't know anybody that doesn't make the U20 and then makes the senior team.
No, nor I. Certainly not. So yeah, that I'm intrigued by. I think it's the right call. They're in the same bracket. Jax won the bracket.
Who's the pound for pound number one in this hypothetical scenario?
Oh boy.
Marcus beats Jax, or Bo beats Marcus here.
Oh no.
And then Marcus beats Jax at U20s. And then Jax loses to Vito.
I'd probably say Marcus.
And then PJ Duke makes Final X.
He takes a match from Yanni.
Yeah.
There's too many good kids. I would lean Marcus there just because I can't do all the full breakdown, but I feel like, all right, if Marcus got it back against Jax.
Jax is currently the rifle number one. If Marcus beats him, he gets it.
Don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
This group of top 10 here, even if you go down to 11 with Sergio Vega, Jude Correa, Jaden James.
Oh my gosh.
This pound for pound is awesome.
We're going to look back and be like, what an insane group. It's not always like this, folks.
What a crop.
D-Lock. I feel like you could take so many of these resumes and they would be comparable to a number one overall resume. Like D-Lockett's.
The top 6 for sure.
Knox for sure. A 4-time, who's number one? 4-time Super 32, 4-time New Jersey.
Do you think this is just an insane group, or is this going to become more the norm? I'm not saying, multiple U20 guys making Final X. I do think that is a little not going to be the norm, but where we have really good guys who are competitive at the senior level, is that going to become more of the norm, or is this just a special group?
I do think this is a special group. It's not going to be like this in 2 years where we're looking at this top 14. I mean, Seth Mendoza at the 10 is crazy, right? But I do think we are going to have bits and pieces of senior level guys that are U20 eligible. I think that's going to happen. That's not going away. But I do think that more than anything, if I had to weigh one or the other, this is a special group.
Now, we said the same thing about your Yanni Dayton Spencer.
That's exactly.
Kind of age, and then it took a dip, and then it came back up. But it feels like we're kind of yo-yoing up and to the right.
Yes.
Still, because those guys weren't senior level ready yet.
No.
As special as they were, and we knew they were special at the time. It was like, no, these guys are going to be good. They weren't senior level ready yet.
Yeah.
So now it's like we took a dip, but we still kind of crept up. We're doing a yo-yo up the mountain.
You're exact. That's
right.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So then the next special group, we are going to have a U20 guy make the team if we don't this year, maybe 2, in 8 years where we get another special.
It's just, it's just becoming more. We've talked about this a lot, like just how homogenous it's all becoming. And the elite high school is the senior level, right? And I think you're right that it is trending that way, but it will go in cycles where like this level of depth, elite depth, won't always be there.
Is there something to multiple elite high school level guys coming up in the same class or 2 classes together, and then it dips? It doesn't feel like I'm saying wrong. Like Pico was like a standout. He had nobody else like on that level in his class.
But think about this. You're right, because Spencer, Dayton, Nick Suriano, they're all kind of chasing each other, right? It feels like Knox, Blaze, Jax, maybe to a degree Bo, all those guys have kind of been chasing each other in certain ways. Maybe not Bo with Marcus.
Yeah, but Bo trains with Jax every day.
Trains with Jax. So, yeah, I do think that is a definite aspect of it, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they're chasing the highest level, and it's more guys that seem committed to that and that are doing it at the high school level, competing nationwide at all the big tournaments. So I think it's the iron sharpens iron cliche, but they're also chasing the highest level, and the more guys that do that, it's going to raise the average
and
skill level.
There's also something to be said for now high school guys have seen it done, and they know it's attainable.
Yeah.
Like your Yanni Dayton Spencers, they had never really seen like high school guys make the World Team Trials finals.
So it's like the first guy to break the 4-minute mile barrier.
Right. And now
everybody knows you can do it, and then it becomes like,
Right. So it's like, hey, no, I can actually do this. You can have belief in yourself. Whereas even if you were the best high schooler in 2009, you're like, I'm not going to make the senior team.
That's why Spey ran a 4-minute mile, sub 4.
I did it so that everybody else could then also reach that goal of running a sub 4. Yeah.
There you go.
All right, transitioning to the college ranks. Now,
You want to talk 70 briefly?
Yeah. Who we got?
Got a lot. James Green. I mean, all of Nebraska will be there. James Green, Ridge Lovett, and Antrell Taylor all in the mix. Caleb Hinson is an interesting entry here that I didn't know if he was going to enter. You got PJ Duke, Will Lewan, Bryce Andonian, Brayton Lee, Ian Parker, Jackson Arrington, excuse me. Another really tough field. Feels like James is once again the favorite at the trials, but he's got to beat a lot of tough guys to get there.
Yeah, it's always exciting to see a Bryce Andonian in a bracket. I mean, that guy just puts on a show. All those guys, I mean, Ian Parker is...
He had a great open.
Yeah, putting together a really nice freestyle career.
Freestyle.
Yeah.
I am most excited to see how Ridge looks. Because I feel like, I could be wrong, I feel like I haven't seen him wrestle freestyle in a while, but he was best known kind of for his international work in high school, right? Won umpteen Fargo titles, just kind of did it all. Really good international, good parterre, as I recall.
He did a couple of like U23 nationals and stuff, especially I remember for sure the 2020 or 2021 tournament that was in Nebraska. He won.
Okay. I remember, or I don't remember this. I've really enjoyed the Antrell and Ridge Lovett like victory tour they've been on, following on social media. They've got to do everything.
Well, what are they doing?
They did on the first pitches. They had some special like day at the Capitol. All this. Every time I get on Instagram, it's Ridge and Antrell doing something.
They worked at Raising Cane's for a day.
We're Raising Cane's. They're doing all this cool stuff.
They are
they're having a ball.
the co-mayors of Lincoln, Nebraska right now.
They really are. They really are.
Now that Jordan's no longer there.
Yeah,
they're like, hey, we need a new mayor.
Yeah, the position's been vacant for a couple years. Why don't you guys both fill it?
It's true. Yeah, look at them.
Here they are.
There, see? Look how big they're smiling.
Throwing out the first pitch.
High leg kick for
them.
Ridge.
There's Brock Hardy.
Brother Brock. What's he doing? Oh, he's got
Going off his ring?
Oh, yeah, I get it.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
Raising money.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just check
So
it
yeah,
out.
World Team Trials is going to be amazing.
Oh, yes.
Obviously. Okay, now transitioning to college ranks, where Dylan Fishback has announced his transfer. He's going back to Ohio, where he's from, Ohio State. How do you like the lineup fit for him?
Good pickup. I mean, it's a necessary pickup. They lost their 84-pounder.
Yeah.
Rocco Welch left, so you need an 84. good option getting someone like Dylan Fishback, Ohio native, had some solid seasons for NC State, and yeah, good fit for the Bucks. And they've had a nice little portal, getting Ethan Styles, Looted, Cody Chittum, and now Dylan Fishback. So I don't want everyone to hear that they don't use the portal. They all love it.
I know Tom did trump that card quite a bit.
You can't, not anymore.
Can't do it anymore.
Not
He
anymore.
did say we're not against the portal.
Not against it.
Right.
We just haven't used it yet.
Yeah, every coach is going to use every tool available to them to try to improve, and that's
Especially when the portal's used against you.
Yeah.
Like, daggone it.
Turnabout's fair play. It seems like they stepped up recently, and now the Buckeyes, losing Rocco is a big blow to the lineup, but they responded with some big additions. I think, as you said, Ethan Styles is one of the more interesting guys to get into that room.
Now, Kozak, how does this impact our feud? The Isaac Trumbull versus Dylan Fishback feud we've been having for years. Now that he's left NC State,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we've ever fully explained the feud to the people.
It was intense. It was of the arguments. I'm trying to think of the most intense one we've had.
How do you remember it?
It was about the lineup and getting him. And when they were moving up Trent, I said this does not make sense because you could have Trent and Trumbull back to back, and you were basically like Trumbull and Fishback are basically the same guy, and I was just adamant that Isaac Trumbull was far more. It was just a better option.
Yeah, what I said was Fishback can score the same amount of points as Trumbull did this year at NCAAs. Well, the year that we were talking about it.
Yeah.
Because Trumbull scored like 1.5 points. And all of that was because I had Trumbull on my fantasy team, and I was really excited about him. And he broke my heart and scored 1.5 points. And I said, well, Dylan Fishback could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can do that, but
now the bar is pretty high because Trumbull placed 4th.
yeah.
So Fishback just gonna have to take 3rd next year, which I believe in you, Dylan.
yeah, what if he did?
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a lot more to it than that. It was some years ago now.
Yeah.
But
Almost tore us apart.
it almost did, but we came back together.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan and Isaac couldn't pull us apart.
Yeah.
So yeah, great pickup for the Buckeyes.
Well, now their lineup's going to look like Macron or Buzakis or Kilcurry at 25.
Yeah.
Or Buzakis, Davino at 33. Mendez, 41. Styles, 49. Chittum or Cannon at 57. Probably Cannon. Sounds like Cody wants to redshirt. Patty or Ethan Burton at 65. Hartzell at 74. Fishback, 84. Giager Shumate at 97. Feldman, 285.
It's a really good dual team for sure. I mean, they 10 bullets with depth also.
How about Hartzell getting another year? I was surprised to see that.
Yeah. Yep.
But what is eligibility anyway?
No, it's fake. But no, they need him. He kind of rounds them out. This team is very volatile in a tournament, right? Mm-hmm. You see a lot of them going on deep runs, and there's other than Jesse, who are you feeling like? Yeah, punch him in. Honestly, Ethan Styles may be the second best guy that you feel most confident in.
Yeah.
Right, of that team.
Buzakis, if he gets into the wrestlebacks, then you're confident.
Yeah. But he has twice and not been able to. So, it's a really good team as we take a look at the wrestle stat for Carson Hartzell, which has a lot of years on it, but one more to go.
Yeah, just 3 postseasons, so it's not.
Please,
Oh, this is nothing.
please let us not end another career.
Right.
This is Tyler Brennan's wrestle stat.
Okay. It's very, yeah.
No,
Just more ambulances.
Because 2020, he had a 2021.
Way more ambos.
You don't even need an ambo for 2021, though, because that's free year.
Yeah.
So only one ambo.
And definitely not 4 postseasons. That did not happen, and we're not saying it did.
That's right. That's right.
Dang it.
Other portal news: Hippolito going in the portal for the Hokies, and Chris Cannon once again back in the portal.
Yeah.
And quite the interesting transfer saga.
I think he needs to go back to Michigan.
Yeah.
Just keep alternating schools. And then next year go to North. Or he needs to transfer to Northwestern College in Orange City, Iowa.
Be a Red Raider.
Yeah. These are everything's on the table. I'm surprised he wants to keep wrestling, but we wish him luck. Kurt McHenry in the portal, and another man with more years somehow. Not somehow.
They should all have as many years that they can get.
But yeah, Hippolito's going to be a big pickup. Excited to see where he goes. Other than TJ Stewart, are there any other big names still floating out there, or do we just have to wait?
That have not committed.
Cooper Flynn.
Cooper Flynn.
Didn't he commit to Chattanooga?
No.
Or is that?
That's John Cena. Tweeted that. You got John Cena.
I got John Cena.
You got John Cena, but
I don't even think I saw the tweet. I think I just saw or somebody a picture, or we were talking about it, or something.
it was a
in the
picture
office.
from John Cena. I think he's 100%.
John Cena 69. That account.
I think he got something with Rocky Elam wrong.
Really?
I think. I don't want to disparage John Cena, though.
Dude, you do not want to make an enemy of
You
John
go toe to
Cena.
toe with John Cena 69.
Gonna stick China on you.
But no, I think that is where Cooper's, which would make sense. He's from there, from Tennessee.
Yeah.
Smaller program. I think it'd be good for him. Change of pace.
Yeah, get that in-state talent.
Oh yeah, Jesse Vasquez. He's tough too.
Tate Piccolo. Another
Jaden
guy.
Bullock.
Jaden Bullock. Yep.
Did we talk about our Pan Am roster
No,
last show that came out post show?
he didn't.
So Team USA did release the Pan Am roster. Kozak, do you want to bring that up
I'll do my best.
for us?
Mm-hmm.
Pan Ams are this weekend? Upcoming
I
weekend?
believe so. Yeah.
You can check out an award-winning graphic on your favorite social media
On our
platform.
Instagram?
I believe that would be there, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Look at that.
Good job.
So we've got Liam Cronin at 57, Jax Forrest 61, Joey McKenna 65, Ian Parker 70, Lockett 74, Wick 79, Valencia 86, Heidley 92, Rademacher 97, Hendrickson 125.
Good crew. They're all obviously, people ask how does this come about, or how do you figure out who goes where? It's I think they start with Final X.
They have a criteria. It's the world teamer from last year, I believe, gets the option, or maybe world medalist. And then they go to the U.S. Open champion, and then they just pick it, I think is the criteria.
Are you telling me that David Taylor declined his Pan Am invitation?
The
That's what
Greco
I'm
team
telling
is
you.
just our starters. So the Greco team is picked or decided.
Yes.
People knew that they're not in Final X or needed a reminder on that, but the U.S. Open was the world team trials for Greco, and everybody that won is also going to Pan Ams. So
Right.
you get a good shot or a preview of our world team.
And at 74, Ladarian Lockett's going, and you would presume, that Mitchell and David both declined to go in there.
Okay, I got it. It is the Olympic world medalist at the same weight can accept, and then it's top 3 from the Open can accept.
Okay.
Then it goes to handpicked.
Age level. Okay, yeah. So D Lockett's a good option there. Ian Parker had a nice showing. So
Rademacher is a U20 guy.
not everyone's available or necessarily interested in going to this. For at 57, think all is great with Spencer. Just elected to not go.
Well, we could get Seabass versus McKenna, right? Probably.
Yeah.
I didn't see Rivera in the
What?
WW entries. But
They have to send someone.
They have to send a rep, yes.
Yeah, but as long it's the total number, it doesn't matter what weights they are.
Oh, really?
So if they send 5 guys to Pan Ams, you can send 5 guys to Worlds.
and then get
Doesn't
burgers and
No matter the weight.
Doesn't matter the weight.
Oh.
There was
didn't realize that.
Austin Gomez was entered, so they got a little Austin Gomez action.
Yeah.
He's at 70.
Is he? Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yep.
I have to double check my.
Former Cyclone teammates. Ian Parker
Remember how good he
versus
looked?
Gomez.
Oh yeah. Remember how he looked against Andonian? We kind of forgot about that.
Yeah,
That was unreal.
yeah, he likes to mix it up.
Yeah,
He's always,
Gomez is good. Remember Pan Am's last year when he beat Nick Lee?
No. I don't want to talk about that.
There were some sad references in the preview to some past instances that
Dang it.
American fans might want to forget. So,
Yes.
so trigger warning.
At least we got it. It's less sad now that we got it qualified. Since we got it qualified,
RBY is registered at 57.
Yes.
excited to see what he can do.
And let's see. So Pan Am starts Thursday with Greco, and then men's freestyle is Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, they overlap the weights or the styles. So it's
Yep.
like Greco, all Greco, and then Greco women, and then women's men's, and then just men's freestyle.
Then beach.
And beach.
And then beach. Actually, it's 100% correct.
That is true. See?
Oh, is that true?
They're following it up with it.
I was joking.
See? Watch. There's the schedule. You got everything. And then look at beach wrestling's down.
All right.
Beach wrestling next.
I knew it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Where's Monterey? What do you know about Monterey, Mr. Maps?
Oh,
It's northern. It's actually one of the closest major cities to us right now. It's in northern Mexico.
Okay.
I'm gonna fact check that.
Is it near a beach? Yeah. Can you see?
It's not the ocean. It's kind of like in the foothills, and it's one of the more wealthy. There's a lot of industrial stuff there. It's another nice city.
You once again know nothing about it.
Never been.
It's crazy.
But yeah, you gotta go a ways a bit till you hit the Gulf.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Gulf. No, it says Gulf of America
Wow, it does.
on that's Google Maps. That's not a political statement by anybody.
Wow. So you need to reread our policies on political.
Yikes.
Quick 6-hour drive.
Yeah, 6, 7. There's going to be, the World Cup of Soccer is coming to North America soon, and I think Monterey is like the closest host.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Cool.
Only 148 hours to walk there.
Yeah. There you go.
That elevation gain at the end, there's really gonna
Better start hiking.
148 hours. That's no problem. Okay.
Questions?
Questions. Let's do it. That's Kozak's responsibility. Tyler's in Japan.
Yeah.
It seems like he made it, and he's having a blast with his GF.
Well,
Our grappling friend Joe did ask.
Yeah, I was gonna
What
say
are the
let's-
odds Tyler comes back?
We'll start with that.
Well, yeah, that's a good question, and it's a good question.
It's high. He does return, but it's not 100.
It's not 100.
Yeah. He's there for like 12 days total trip or something. It's more than a week. And I was like, oh, you're going to be ready to come home because he's trying to pack all this stuff in Japan. I was like, yeah, but after like 12 days and not being home or whatever, you'll be ready. He's like, no, I don't think so, dude.
Bro loves Japan.
I think
Yeah.
he's going to.
It would not be the place where I'd be like, all right, this is where I'm settling in.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've only been to Tokyo, and it was in the middle of a pandemic.
That makes comparing it tough. Like,
Yeah.
it's time to go back to Oslo.
That's the fact.
Yeah.
You got to go.
I hate Oslo.
Oh, wow. Everyone on this show went to Oslo.
Yeah. Had the time of our lives.
Trust me, I know, as you all talk about it very frequently.
It's in Norway. It's
gotta
near
look-
it's near the fjords.
We got to look up our Italian chef friend.
Yeah. I hope he's doing good.
What an electric dinner.
Oh, that guy lives hard.
I think, yeah, he's the guy who could be behind bars, maybe.
No, there's no crime in Oslo. You learn nothing about your time there? Incredible.
All right, we'll start with a fun one. At Wrestle Madness asks JD, can we get a quick update on JD's band?
My band?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a garage band.
Oh, we've been broken up since I was in like 5th grade. So
Dang.
Oh.
So your last song was the FRL intro.
yes.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Time for a reunion show. The people are demanding it.
Yeah.
I might have to dust off the old garage band.
Okay. Nick Janda asks, who's someone that jumped into the international scene that we didn't see coming when in college? Who's someone in college that didn't pan out in freestyle like you thought they would?
The first who jumped on the scene that you didn't see coming when in college, the number one answer for everyone is Jamil Kelly. Guy didn't literally never All-American and made the team and then made the Olympic finals, getting silver. That was unforeseen. I didn't expect that. More recently, I would not have expected in his college career, early on in his years at 174, I didn't think Miles Amin was going to be a guy that wins multiple world medals. Obviously, he wrestled a period of time after he had won it in college, but like he had a couple years at 74 where he's like back and forth with Mark Hall and Bo Jordan. Like I didn't think he was going to be that guy, and he ends up being just a mainstay at 86, Olympic bronze medalist, wrestled for a medal in the 24 Olympics, right there. So he would be a one more recently.
Zane Richards, would have never guessed he would have made a team. 57's a little different if you can just hang around there, but still beating Thomas Gilman in the finals. Would never have predicted that.
Seabass like Amin.
Yep.
Great wrestler in college, but didn't see an Olympic and a world medal.
Never made a final.
Yeah.
Never would have guessed.
And at a weight like
Miocic,
65.
world champion.
Nope.
and another medal.
Although I don't know.
He was always a freestyle guy.
He was a junior world bronze in 2014
I just based off college
for
career.
America, which was awesome.
And you know, his college career does get tinted a little bit by his last year. That was not up to the par of his other years. Like he was really good in college.
Oh yeah.
You know who I thought of for this, and I'm surprised JD didn't say it, but maybe it's because of out of respect.
The Shazer?
Tervel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Who
right?
saw that coming?
Yeah.
I mean, no one. He didn't he compete in like the All-Star one
Yeah,
year?
I think he might have pinned Dustin Fox.
And, like-
he was the NCAA.
Right. He was really good. And
He's really good. I
in
think he won
college.
Vegas.
Yeah,
No, you're right.
Midlands.
Who I thought would pan out I really thought Ed Ruth was going to be
I was thinking the same thing.
multiple world medalist, eventual world champion.
Maybe could have been if he stuck with it. Probably not, but
If he stayed at Penn State
Yeah. When he made that, what is it, 2014, the one team he made?
right out of college.
Yeah, I was like, all right, this is going to be, a streak of teams and success. And
Was a little small.
yeah, I never really looked.
For
for 86.
Yeah, the way some of those guys get just massive. And then,
Did he lose to Mohammedan at Worlds?
Yes. So
It was huge.
that's not a good guy to be small against 'cause he was on everything.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. If Blaze goes next year as a true freshman, what chances do you give him to win NCAAs at 133 or 141? I feel like we've talked about this
A little
a
bit.
little bit in the past.
He wants a
but
percentage.
he wants a percent.
30%? I think that's a very high. That's a lot.
that's
That's a
probably
big,
too high for 41. IMO
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Jesse Mendez
I'm
is
saying
there.
33.
33. There's not quite the final boss that there is at 141. Ryan Crookham's really good, but I'm not ready to put him on Jesse
Year on the
Mendez.
shelf too. Ryan, a guy that's battled injuries throughout his career. Yeah. Maybe so. I give 30 at 133.
yeah, it's just hard to put real high odds on anybody. Like a true freshman, like 30 is still high for having not seen
Luckily
him.
for him, he won't have to face Ono, whatever weight he goes.
Yeah, if he does go, you're assuming, and obviously Ono doesn't get the spot instead of him.
Well, I meant they're on the same team, so they literally
Right.
can't occupy the same spot.
Although sometimes there's calls for that rule to be changed. People want 2 entries per weight class.
They want the
in postseason.
NAI special.
Women's wrestling can get 15 in college, 15
That would be
starters.
great.
One per weight.
Okay. Next question. Seth Gross, God's Wrestler 133, had a pretty awesome take on losing to Jax Forrest. I don't know if you guys saw it.
I haven't.
I can pull that up also. Basically, he said it's motivating
Yeah.
to lose to a high schooler. Keeps them fresh, keeps them sharp, keeps them trying to adapt. So anyways, he said, is this how all college or senior level wrestlers view a loss to a high schooler? How does this affect their future thoughts about competition? Also, can't you just picture Tyler rocking a kimono the entire time in Japan?
I can picture that.
Maybe not the entire time, but definitely.
No, it's got to be really baggy. Whatever he wears, it got to be way too big.
Do they rock kimonos a lot in anime? I feel like they wear more like fighting gear. Tyler's going to be more in that fighting gear.
I don't know.
Yeah, all I know is the one anime show that Tyler made me watch, and it was a bunch
large
of
nude giants?
nude monsters just running around eating villagers.
Right.
So I don't.
No, I mean, I think the high school thing, when you think about it, if you actually think about Jax Forrest, there's not much about him that's makes him. I mean, he's a senior level wrestler, and I don't just say that because of the level he's at. You think about the months and months of training he's had in RTCs,
Right.
at the Olympic Training Center with elite partners. Like, he's been training with the best of the best for literally years. He was going to the UNC RTC back when we lived in North Carolina. He's been going to Penn State routinely throughout his, not anymore, but routinely. Goes weeks on end at Oklahoma State, Olympic Training Center camps. Like, and then there's other guys like that have a similar sort of experience. So one, you kind of like, I mean, yeah, he's young, but he's not, but as far as like the high schooler, no, he's senior level experience.
Yeah,
I still know it stings a little bit worse for some of those guys when you lose
Yeah.
to like a Jax Forrest, only because it's like dang.
Yeah.
So high school is going to be put on like social media everywhere. It's not just another.
It's insane that Seth Gross has lost to like 5 high schoolers. That's crazy.
Carter Young back in 2021.
Carter Young was, I think he was not technically in high school at that point. He was at Northwestern.
But he had not yet started college.
No, he was there. He was in
That
Northwestern.
was like September.
September 11th, actually.
Oh, how could I forget?
It really was. Never. Yeah.
I'll never forget that again.
Well, when people are saying, "Oh, you lost to a high schooler," they're saying it to try to disparage that loss. But when you're talking about a guy like Jax Forrest, it's not a high schooler. It's not like, oh, you can't beat a high schooler. It's like he's at that level. When you compete at that level, doesn't matter how old or whatever, you're an elite senior level guy.
Yeah.
Whatever you're in high school or blah, 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 doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I think this topic, going back to the Olympics, where people were like, man, do we need systematic changes for USA Wrestling? It's like, no, we like look at our high schoolers, how good they are and how they're developing, and we're gonna be just fine in USA Wrestling.
Everyone freaked out a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so, but do you think this group of high schoolers starting in 2028 can take us through a run like those guys did in 2014 through or 2016 through 2021?
Certainly possible. I mean, think about what Dake, Taylor, Jordan, Snyder, just having that nucleus for that many years. And throw Jaden in there. So that's 4 or 5 guys that really, and I think we've got maybe even more potentially.
These guys are lightweights, which are inevitably going to.
You got Mitchell. You've got, how big's, so I mean, you got Drayshawn and Michael Mako's a U17 world champion. We're gonna have. We're gonna.
Yeah, the depth keeps showing up
For sure.
There can only be so many pound for pound top guys. I mean, it's just a list.
We got Kyle Snyder till 2040.
Yeah.
Something.
We're
We're going to be good there.
Kyle is kind of young.
Brooks.
No, I feel confident that they could be a nucleus. Now, predicting any of them to have, to rattle off the number of titles like Jordan had or Dake, but I just feel like, and David.
That was like a special group that will not be replicated, I don't think. Even with guys like these, you can't be like, they're for sure lock for bronze, good chance to win gold every year, like 5 guys.
But David and Kyle weren't on teams till they were like 27.
Right.
And they still did that. So I don't know. I'm kind of not with you on that. You couldn't have predicted that Kyle and David were going to do what they're going to do. Certainly not in high school. Probably not even in college.
Right.
Kyle Dake was losing to Andrew Howe in like universities. So you saying you can't say it. Well, you would have never said it you wouldn't have said it for Jordan in 2010.
I just don't think that's like the new standard. Like some people are applying that is the new standard. Like I don't think you can like predict. Like I'm not confident in saying yes, Jax Forrest is gonna go win 8 world and Olympic medals with 4 golds.
But you're saying because we've had those guys, Dake, Jordan, and David, now American wrestling fans may be a little spoiled, a little accustomed to that, and are like, okay, who's the next guys that are going to do that? And you got to maybe pump the brakes a little.
Yes, like you can't just be like, yes, that shouldn't happen.
Right, because it was so crazy to have.
I think it's going to happen again.
But I think maybe with one guy, not with like 5 guys on the same team.
It wouldn't surprise me if we had something like that again in 4 or 5 years.
I certainly leave the door open to that, and I welcome it.
Sure, yeah. No, it would be great, but it's possible, but I don't. Would definitely not predict it.
John?
Okay. Back to our MMA talk. Which active wrestler would do the best if they transitioned to MMA?
I have no idea.
I know. I think that just we talk so much in the show about it, but it's like these are different skill sets. It's
Also,
no longer
Carter
like.
Strachey. I would like to lock in Carter Strachey.
I would hope so, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know enough about MMA to know, like, okay, like these are the skill
That's
sets.
why I'm just picking the guy I know with the hardest work ethic of anybody. Boom. Carter Strachey.
Yeah,
that's where I feel safest putting my money. Not a guy who's, he is successful because of his mindset and his crazy work ethic.
He'll be in the gym learning whatever skills he needs.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about Hippolito?
BJJ background.
BJJ
That's
wrestling
true.
combination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just feels tailor made for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion, John.
Okay.
I put him up there.
Alrighty. We'll do a
Meaty
fun.
lore
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They
Shut
might
it.
not let her
Shut
in.
it down.
with her. Her boyfriend's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu legend.
Legend at like 21.
Okay. We'll throw a Avery Lynch roundtable question in here because Christian loves them. Would you go for dessert first every time? And Avery adds his opinion. I'll go first. Tempting, but probably not forever. Eating dessert first all the time would take the magic out of it.
He's thought a lot about this.
Yeah.
I've done this multiple times.
Really?
Never spoiled a meal.
I do it frequently.
Sometimes I'm like, this is just the order I want to.
You never know when you're gonna croak. I want the good thing first.
Yeah, you croak right after you eat dessert. That could be the end of your life.
You never know.
That's never really fueled my rationale. But sometimes I'm like, yeah. He'll be like, are you eating that now? I'm like, yeah, I'll still eat all my food.
I don't think I've ever had dessert first.
Are you kidding me?
I think I've had like dessert instead of a meal, like just eat dessert.
bowl of ice cream.
I did it last week when we had lunch delivered, and I grabbed a cookie and ate it while we waited in line.
Yeah.
That's a common time where I'll do it too.
it's
like
like a little
box lunch
appetizer.
or whatever, and it's just like, no, I'm gonna scarf down this cookie
Yeah.
first
I think in my mind, I think, what's the last thing I want? What's the last thing I want to taste
before you die.
before I die? No.
Yeah.
Before I'm done eating.
We're all thinking
Why not?
each meal
Why
is
not?
our last.
Why not sandwich dessert before and after?
Well, that's
Yeah.
a lot.
I think that's best case scenario.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I've ever done it.
Also, I mean, anything can be a dessert if you just call it that. Like when we were in Vegas and Connor got that huge lasagna, I had a couple bites of dessert lasagna because that was the last thing that I ate after my main course.
Garfield style.
Yeah,
Right. Right on.
you can make lasagna dessert.
I would not want to do it all the time.
Nah,
I like to get as full as I can on the meal so I don't eat dessert.
Okay.
Dessert is bad, and I feel bad after I eat it. But sometimes I do bad things.
sometimes you expire after you eat.
Wild boy over here eating ice
I'm
cream.
crazy. No, yeah.
Okay. I think we've answered this question before, but a good throwback for nostalgia. Has Ethan Lezak ever confirmed that Gilman gassed him from bottom?
The tape's confirmed.
Okay.
We all saw. Everyone knows. The certified ball knowers all know.
Eyeball confirm.
Okay. Hypothetical. If Flow HQ had to move, if we had to,
Had to.
where would
Oh,
you
this
choose?
is
Gotta
gonna
go.
divide, especially this group up.
Where would you choose? Ohio, Iowa, New Jersey, or Virginia?
Got to be one of those.
I mean, it's very obvious. New Jersey.
DA is for?
New Jersey's out. Iowa's out.
Why eliminate New Jersey so quickly?
Because Virginia's just has proximity to everything. It's just an overall better state, cheaper, fewer union people. They're gonna jam us up. All these unions.
Well, we're worried about unions.
I'm worried about you. Listen,
What union
I'm
threatens you the most?
pipe fitters.
All right.
They just jam everything. They slow everything down. I'm not gonna go someplace where I can't pump my own gas. What is wrong with this place?
That has nothing to do with
That is
unions.
wild.
That is insane. Well, what is it?
There's just a law. I don't know.
Just a law. No one questions it. No one's like, why can't I get out of my car? I gotta let.
I
this
don't
do-
support
I'm supposed
it,
to
but-
yeah. Anyway,
There are plenty of places in New Jersey. It's not like if we moved our headquarters to New Jersey, it would be like, the unions are picketing us or something. Like,
Oh, it's gonna happen. Have you
None of
seen,
that would
you haven't even
happen.
seen The Sopranos, man. It's crazy. No, I like New Jersey, but I mean, Virginia's the best place to raise a family.
where in Virginia would you put the HQ?
You put it in the
You want them to
Shenandoah,
be good at wrestling.
right in the valley.
Right in the Val?
You could be good at wrestling anywhere.
Where? Stanton?
Yeah, maybe.
What's the Harrisonburg?
Yeah, maybe right in Swope,
All the way in Swope.
Churchville.
That would dominate the whole
Start a little
community.
compound. Yeah.
There would be nothing but flow people
No,
everywhere.
I don't know. The Shenandoah Valley would be a great place to run a business. It's got proximity. I mean, you can be in Ohio in no time, and New York City, and upstate New York, and down to Super 32, Virginia Tech, North Carolina.
It's got, it's just a couple-hour drive to a regional airport.
It's that's
Traveling would be a breeze. Just a couple hours drive to
There's a nice
Roanoke.
Capital One lounge in Dulles.
yeah. Honestly, it would probably need to be more towards Northern Virginia because I honestly, all my Virginia love aside, when I'm there, it is just annoying to have to drive 3 hours to an airport, 2 hours to an airport. That's like
You ever fly through Roanoke?
it's a pain and it's still 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's still 2 hours. Charlottesville, sometimes you can get lucky, but it's like $600.
So we found one drawback.
Yeah.
One simple one of
Honestly, I would say my second choice would probably be New Jersey or Ohio, not Iowa.
Coward. Cool. You can go watch UFC fights on the weekend, Iowa duels.
Yeah, no.
Iowa's got it all.
Honestly,
UFC, wrestling, corn.
You know what? I change it. I do want to move to Iowa. I want to live in a place where wrestling is just in the blood.
That is a
Now we're talking.
That's the only.
Now you've come around.
That's the only place,
Yeah.
other than the Shenandoah Valley, which is just not close enough to an
Lehigh
airport.
Valley. If
Yeah.
not Pennsylvania, but the Lehigh Valley.
That's very specific.
How about the best of both worlds? You
not
go to
the
New
Rust-
Jersey and you got Lehigh Valley right there, and then you got New York City right over there. Oh wow, we found the perfect place. We just figured it out.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
No.
Those would all be there. Would be pluses and minuses for all. Kozak has no love for Ohio though. You're not even.
That's a
I'm
former
not from
Ohioan.
there.
I know, but you lived there. You coached there.
You did rep Ohio.
You're part of the problem where the Ohio people won't ride anyone.
They won't wrestle. Yeah, mat wrestling. Yeah.
What is up with that?
I don't get it. I don't like it.
You talk to them about it?
I talked to the refs about it whenever they called stalling on our top wrestlers who were riding. But
Oh, is that so? You think that's
Riding,
why?
not turning.
I do blame partially on the refs.
Wow, certified ref hater.
They call stalling real quick if there's no turns.
Oh, dang.
So then the only option is
It's the exact opposite of Pennsylvania.
yeah, you go neutral.
Where they love to ride.
You get off the bottom.
Good ride, cowboy.
All right, that's
No,
interesting.
I liked living in Ohio though. It's good. Not as cold as Michigan.
Oh, really? It was noticeably
Oh yeah.
warmer.
Well, I lived like southwest Ohio.
Okay.
Like flying to Kentucky.
Okay. Oh, that's right. You're Dayton, right? That's right. That's where we met Kozak.
Cincinnati,
At the RTC Cup.
the nasty natty. Yep,
Is that what they call it?
that's what they call it. Yeah.
I thought it was delightful.
That's where my dreams came true.
Kozak helped us move mats, I think.
yes,
Yeah.
you did.
Yeah. Yeah, like you guys can go home, and I was like, I'll stay and help. Yeah, I want to leave a good first impression.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, let's see. What question do we like next? Oh, this is a good one. Similar to a previous question, who do you think is the best guy to not make a world / Olympic team since 2000? You can't go before that.
Well, more recently is Nolf.
Nolf, yeah.
Ringer was one of the top guys in the world.
Yeah.
Ringer for sure.
It takes the question like this. They're good questions, but it's like I want like research. I need a computer to like help.
Also, like, to find best, like Ed Ruth.
He made.
He made a team. You're right. He did make a team. I forgot. 2014.
That's who's. I couldn't go back to 2000 without.
Nickal never made a team.
No, but I would put Nolf a little. Man, I don't know. I feel like Nolf had. Because Nolf stuck with it longer.
That's what I'm saying.
Ultimately, had a little more
Like,
success.
think about guys who didn't really stick with it or transitioned to MMA. Or
I mean, we say Alex Daringer, but it feels like Bo Nickal would beat Alex Daringer in freestyle, right?
Peak
Yeah.
bro, peak ringer.
Metcalf never making an Olympic team.
That was crazy.
Always made me sad.
Yeah.
was the question world or Olympic or just
Yeah.
The world / but
like Pico, if he ever would have stuck with it?
Yeah, he was good.
okay.
Cool.
All right. Salty Walk On asks. Well, he says,
Caldwell.
boys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
DC.
Okay. He says, boys, today's the first day of AP testing. Did any of you ever take an AP
a big
test in
day.
high school? And if so, which ones? P.S. Hey, Spay.
Well,
What's up, Salty?
Did you write? Is this your burner?
This is not my burner,
Bay
but
is always talking about AP classes.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I remember when I took mine.
yeah, I don't want to brag too much. I took
He definitely did.
some AP classes. They came in real handy in that I got to test out of at Washington and Lee. You had to take a lab science, like, and everybody dreaded it. That wasn't like trying to take science classes, but because I got a 5 in AP Bio, I was done with my lab requirement. Wow. So, yeah, no big deal.
Come outside, nerd.
I never. No.
I ain't got time for your useless comments.
I never took a AP class, but because I went to Bible college, similar story to Spay, my testing in math was really good for ACTs, so I never had to take a math class in college.
Really?
Yeah,
No math?
Not required for pastoral ministry.
I guess.
I was told that there would be no math.
Yeah,
I was too busy taking space lunch money. I didn't have time for it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. If you listen to the show, you know I was bad, not good at school, and definitely wanted no part of AP anything. And so, yeah, no AP for me. I would have loved, I had to take remedial math basically in college. Like like I had to, because I was so bad in
You had to take high school math in college?
No, yes. That's what I had to do to be able to take the minimum amount of like whatever college math. I had to pass this class that I didn't pass in high school. I'm a freaking idiot. And so I was the opposite of math experience of John Kozak.
There was
But we made it.
There was a question, and I can't find it right now, but it was like, how do you apply to Flow?
Oh, yeah.
What should you major in?
Oh, that was so funny.
Yeah.
We should all go over our majors.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Actually,
Okay.
mine actually applies.
Let's see.
Yeah, you're
I got it here.
I was also technically a journalism major.
But it is hilarious. The worst grade I ever got in college was a blogging class. It's just hilarious.
I thought you
now
had a
because,
blog.
I know, obviously I had a blog, but I don't know. It was because the professor was trying to make it like more than what it should have been. Like it was almost like a journalism class where it's like, now go out and talk to somebody in the community about what they do. I'm like, yo, that's not what a blog is. A blog is you just get to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's the point of a blog.
Did you also get a bad grade because when you said, "Hey, check out my blog," it was just a Word document that you said that said JD's thoughts, and you were just typing on the Word document?
No, but yeah. Besides that, I got pretty good grades.
What was your major?
Sports management and journalism.
Okay.
Wow.
Christian?
human services and counseling.
Okay.
I was journalism and mass communication, but kind of opposite of what you did. When I came to college with all these AP credits, all it allowed me to do, or how I took advantage of that, is then I failed a bunch of classes, and I was still able to graduate on time. So college spay was not much of a student.
Okay.
Okay.
Pastoral studies.
Pastoral ministry, yeah.
Pastoral ministry. Let's see. Braze. I don't know. Braze is.
Something education.
I think he's
right?
English. Maybe
He's
not.
English?
I don't want to disparage if that's not his thing.
dare you.
Vader's like education.
Mm-hmm.
He was gym teacher, I think. I taught, obviously.
Tyler was business.
He stands on
Economics.
Or, yeah, econ.
Connor was like, his is something related actually to video. So his is probably the closest. Andy, J school guy, Iowa. I don't know what Klingman's major is actually.
What was
longest-
Sion's major? What was his path?
Barbecue? Barbecue? I don't know.
Donut shop management?
Yeah, no. So the long and short of it is you don't need any degree or minor or whatever. You do need a media skill set, whether it's shooting, editing, writing, interviewing, something like that.
I found Kyle's LinkedIn.
Okay, all right.
Communication and media studies.
There it is.
Okay.
So some of our majors did brush up on it, but I would dare say it's that all of the college didn't really, not much of it is super applicable to what we're doing here, right?
Yeah, the skills that you learn, or at least that I learned in college, or like I think it goes for most people, is it's not, oh, I took this class and now I'm qualified to do this job. It's like you learn how to be on a team. You learn how to, learn from your classes.
You needed a lot of help with that one.
To be
Not a team player at all. You should see this guy at the airport. He can't wait to ditch the boys.
Oh yeah, it's like I got lounge access for me. I don't know what y'all are doing.
Yeah. But no, I mean, you need to, the most important thing is you got to love and know wrestling at a really deep level. You have to have a really polished skill set. Guys like JD are like he's varied, right? He's on here, he can shoot, he can edit, he writes. So being, multiple is very, very helpful as well. So.
The best advice I ever heard about, like, how do you get a job or how do I work there if it's like a desirable position or something that looks like you'd be interested in, is figure out what the people whose job you want do and then get as many reps, as much practice, and try to figure out if you can be a valuable addition to that team.
That's the best part. I think now, one, the barrier, you don't have to work anywhere to be in wrestling media, obviously, if you look around. But you can build a name for yourself in wrestling. I mean, look, Caden Henschel is a great example of someone that just learned how to shoot and edit and storytell, and now he's a massive following. the Muggsy Bull Junk guy. Like they're not working here or trying to work here, but just the general point of wrestling media is super, super attainable for.
Yeah. The tools are cheap. The technology is there. You can get those reps in without having to
and they don't need
technical college.
They can work. They work for themselves, but they would be probably great additions here too.
And you don't even need to know ball. Look at you. You don't know
Right.
ball.
I don't even know ball. Exactly.
You got to have some thick skin too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
A professional dress is required, though.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah,
You got to dress for the part, for the job you want, not
Yes.
the job you have.
JD wants to be a bartender at least. Go ahead.
Next question.
All right. Chris, whose handle is at monkeyboycu, says, why is there such a large gap from 197 to 285? I'm not calling for weight changes, but I'd like to understand why there isn't a 220-ish pound class, and then he lists a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
But I have proof as to why. So these are the entries for U20 freestyle. Mm-hmm. Look at how many entries there are: 57, 61, 65, 70, all the way up through about 86.
If you're just listening, there's 163 guys or were registered for 65 kilos. There were 29 for 97 kilos.
Yeah, just not that many. And that would be literally the tweener. These weights sort of mirror that, right? 92 kilograms is basically 197 or close to, is within 2-3 pounds.
There were still only 49 guys registered for 92 kilos.
Right.
Now, once you get up to those bigger boys, a lot of them do other sports as well during this time and can be occupied for high school. But aren't that many also adult males that wrestle that size. And once you get that bigger, it's not as big of a deal to cut 5-10 pounds, like a percentage of your body to either tack on a little more mass or take off 5 kilos. It's not the same as it is when you're 65 kilos.
You see guys that could be considered tweeners that just aren't. Like you look at what Younger and Trumbull, and there's a lot of guys that go from 97 to heavyweight and do a good job. I feel like there's quite a few in like the top 10-ish sort of range right now. And then you're going to have someone like Cole Mirasolo, who's going to be a top 5-8 guy, whatever he's going to be ranked coming into the year, weighs 218. So I just think it's not prohibitive on the one hand. And more importantly, to how they probably arrived at it, and John's point is like just the distribution of where people fall.
Yeah, if they kept the same weights, I mean, like if the weight class had always been 210 and not 197, I don't think anybody would be like, we need to lower it down to 197. Yeah. But yeah, I think we all are hitting the right points about participation levels are just lower.
Any other questions, John?
Not really, unless you want to answer the Steve Mako.
Oh, yeah. If Steve Mako and Spey are on the same gorilla fighting team, what are odds that Mako foot sweeps Spey out of habit? How often does Mako foot sweep the gorilla?
Yeah, I mean, I would be delighted to be on the same team rather than facing Steve Mako.
Yes.
It's much better than having to go foot sweep for foot sweep with him. He may just, kind of in passing, just get another couple good foot sweeps in. But I would put my money on Mako. He would destroy the gorilla. He could be one Mako and 100 gorillas. I'm putting my money on Mako.
There you go. All right, well, that's the show. We will be back Thursday?
Yes, 10 a.m. Central.
Just confirm when the show is with JD live on the show. One of my favorite things to do. Wish Tyler well. Hope he's having fun in Japan. I'm sure he's listening live right now. What time is it over there? It's like 11:30. He's probably just getting up. Anyways, thanks so much for tuning in. We're going to be back next Thursday. Thanks to our producer, the pride of Evanston, Illinois, Nicky, back in the booth. Killing it, as always.
Marketplace dealer.
Yeah, he's on Marketplace right now looking to buy $200 worth of dice. Literally, he showed me this ad. He's looking into it right now as we speak.
Should be nice dice, I guess.
It looks like not. They look pretty run-of-the-mill to me.
Really? Was it just like 1,000 of them or something?
It was a lot of dice.
Wow.
It looked like thousands of die. I don't understand it. Thanks to JD, Spey, and Kozak, and especially you for listening. We'll see you next Thursday. Have a great Monday. Goodbye.